would you share your all-time favorite movie?
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz, The
Uh,
Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
my mother despises that movie.
Spencer.
And the reason is because when she was younger, she was terrified of the flying monkeys.
Oh, me too. I'm scared of
She
them too.
she would run. She still will not watch it to this day because of that.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
she needs to watch it with me. I'll
Yep.
I'll help her to love it.
I'm gonna call her right when we finish up, and I'm gonna tell her when this comes out, she needs to listen to it, and then we are gonna all meet up in Wilmington for Kagan's senior night. I'm planning the trip out now
Let's do it.
because
Let's
my
do it.
mom loves Kate. I don't know why, but she loves Kagan. I don't know why.
Yeah, not much to like.
Wow.
I
Um,
still don't know why Anna's with them. I still don't get
I
that.
know it. I know it. Well, it's because he's charming and sweet and precious and perfect and beautiful.
all true. Feel free to keep going.
You'll never hear me say those words.
Yeah, so you're talking about the flying monkey, Spence. That never scared me as a child, but I think I've heard a lot of people say, all things considered, The Wizard of Oz is the most watched movie of all time when you consider, home video and DVD sales, and that it was shown annually, for so many years. And I've always heard how special that was, when The Wizard of Oz came on once a year. But it is sort of like a rite of passage for young kids to watch The Wizard of Oz. But I remember when I was little, because it was always in the house, so I watched it a lot growing up. I didn't realize like that was kind of weird for a little boy to watch The Wizard of Oz, but I liked it. But I was terrified of the Wicked Witch of the West, and I think every child at some point in their life was terrified of the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, like, I had nightmares about her. I don't know what it is about her, but I mean, she's just so
scary.
terrifying. So terrifying.
Well, but she's not. I mean, she's not the main takeaway from that movie.
No, of course not. And my next question for you was going to be, what about that movie is so special to you? Why did it stick with you for so many years? What resonates with you? I mean, why is it so special to you?
Well, that the reasons that I love the movie have, of course, evolved over time. I think initially as a little girl, um, I understood the whole theory of living in a tiny little place and wanting to see bigger things and better things. And she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and that just, I loved that song. But the meaning behind it, that she says at the end of the movie, if I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look further than my own backyard, because if it isn't there, I never really lost it. And I spent a lot of my adult life missing home and wanting to get back home. And I was able to do that with Joe. I was able to move back home, and I understand, I appreciate the value of home. But everybody's sort of searching for something that they already have. The scarecrow wants brains, the lion wants courage, the tin man wants a heart. And I actually use the Wizard of Oz in my classroom. And we talk, and when I give awards at the end of the year, I give the scarecrow, the lion, and the tin man award. But I think with those three things, if you have a heart that is kind and compassionate, and you have the courage to go after your dreams, and you have a mindset that believes you can be anything that you want to be, then you've got everything you need to be successful. So the core idea that you already have all the things you need to be a good human, and it's a brains and a heart.
Sorry.
Not enjoying your company, Kagan?
No, well, this isn't this isn't my Mac. But anyway, yeah, I think it's amazing that The Wizard of Oz. I mean, it was made in 1939, right?
Mm.
Same year the Gone with the Wind came out. It's a great year for movies, but it's amazing that a movie that old still holds up to this day, at least in my opinion. I mean, in that, it's probably the number one movie like that everyone has to see before they die. Like it's just that iconic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just it's filmmaking at its finest. It's, some might consider it, simple or whatever, but it's just like there's that movie magic that you see when you're young in The Wizard of Oz. And you look at it now, technology has advanced so much, and it all looks so fake. But then there's sort of like this appreciation for what they went through to make the movie. Like, all of that was a set that they had to build, and you know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
I don't know. I love The Wizard of Oz. I just think it's an awesome movie. Um,
It's the best.
it really is the best.
So,
And
and kind of looping back to, we're gonna make it sad again to death and all that. I have expressed this to you, but now I'm going to tell Spencer because I need Spencer to make sure that this happens. When I pass away, I do not want my casket to be open. I do not want people to look at my dead face. People say, "Oh, she looks so good," or "He looks so good." No, they don't. They look dead. So we're not doing that. I don't want that. What I want is for my feet to be at that end. And I want a pair of black and white striped tights, and I want ruby red slippers, and I want everybody to walk by and comment on my beautiful shoes. And that is how I want to peace out of planet Earth. So
We will make that happen.
thank you. Thank you.
Mom, what do you think about the theory that Glinda, the Witch of the North, only bad witches are ugly? What do you think about the theory that, she orchestrated the whole thing, and she kind of had Dorothy to do all her bidding for her just to, kill off her enemies and acquire the ruby slippers and all their power?
That's not true.
You don't think it's true?
No, that's somebody with too much time on their hands. I don't think that's true.
I don't know. All too convenient. And
I think when you're beautiful and you have beautiful clothes and beautiful hair and a beautiful spirit and you live in a beautiful pink bubble, there are going to be haters, and haters are going to try to make you believe things that are not true. And I think that's what's going on there. No,
okay.
Literally perfect.
Well, and sort of on that subject, in all the years since The Wizard of Oz, like we found out so many things about the movie and the cast, like, what Judy Garland had to go through to make that. And it's really sad. And also, I mean, I guess interesting, just see how far we've come, like as a society. Like, Judy Garland was one of those like vaudeville, family type things. That was back in like the golden age of Hollywood when it was still so glamorous, and she, her mom like forced her to to act and to dance and to sing, and she had an awesome voice, but she hooked her on like uppers and downers and pain pills and diet pills and all that stuff, and it got worse when she got the job as Dorothy, and they, she was a bit plump when she applied for the job, and they decided it to be her because her voice was so powerful, but they told her, she had to lose weight. And so they gave her a strict diet of coffee and cigarettes, literally. And, she was harassed by all the men on all the studio executives, and, and her life after that was so sad. Like, she was addicted to drugs and she was just a shell of herself. I mean, and it all, and you have to look back and think, it all started because she was kind of taken advantage of at a young age. I mean, it's just so sad to think about. But then not even Dorothy, like all the munchkins on set, they had a hard time finding people to do it. So they like recruited like carnies and stuff. And, I don't know if people realize, like before, Disney World and all that, there were carnivals, and carnivals were a very sketchy thing. Like, it was not a safe place to go. They were all just kind of weird and kind of mean, and like, so there was all kinds of crazy stuff going on set. But there's I don't know if it's a conspiracy, because we still have the old VHS, and you can pull it up. You know, the Munchkin that they claim hung himself, and they've gotten rid of it since then. Don't you believe it's real? I can remember watching it as a kid, but now you can't go back and look at it because it's not. You have to have like a copy.
It was pretty convincing, but I just I don't know if I believe all that stuff.
But there was so many awful things going on the set of that movie. You know, like the original Tin Man, like I don't know if he died, but he was hospitalized because of the paint he used. Like I can't remember what it was. Maybe not asbestos, but the paint they used to paint his face. You know, like it like burned his skin and like got in his lungs. It almost killed him. I mean, it was like, and they like lost munchkins while they were filming it. I mean, it was just crazy. Like all the stuff that happened on the set of that film.
Yep.
But yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz, man, great movie, iconic.
I'm actually looking at that. I'll just type that in, Wizard of Oz, the Munchkin.
Yeah, you could probably find it on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
But they replaced it with like a bird, right? Like a peacock or something, right?
I think so.
I think so.
So Mom, what's your favorite quote from the Wizard of Oz?
Well, I told you the one at the end about
that's the one I always remember.
Yeah. But then the Wizard of Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz was actually a novel before it was a movie.
There were a lot of books.
There were. That's right. And there was a quote from the Tin Man in the book, and I'll have to paraphrase. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was something like, having once had both a brain and a heart, now I know I'd rather have the heart. It's something like that about, if you had to choose between a brain and a heart, go with the heart. And that's just sweet to me. As a matter of fact, that was a quote written on a chalkboard display in a frame at my wedding to Joe.
Really?
Yeah,
Christy did that.
Yeah, well, she painted it around the doorway of my mobile unit at Midway High School, and then she put it on a chalkboard canvas for me at the wedding. And then it rained and it washed the chalk away, and she had to do it again, but she did.